We have the Ace of Daggers fly out there. So I think your person views you as somebody who is pretty straightforward with communication. They view you as someone who wants to be straightforward with communication, who wants to communicate with them, who wants to express maybe not so much your feelings if you're not a highly emotional person. I think from your person's point of view, you are expressing things that are more factual to them. You might be just expressing the way that you view things, but they definitely think that you are someone who thinks that open communication in a relationship is very important. We have the Warden of Crystals come out. So that's King of Pentacles energy, a very solid and stable energy. So your person might think that you believe that the relationship is pretty solid, that it's built on a firm foundation, that it's something you can depend on. I think this person, there's also kind of a feeling here with this Warden of Crystals that this person thinks that you are patient when it comes to this connection, and that you want commitment from them. Really interesting depending on how you feel. You may have exercised patience when it comes to this person, but you may not always be feeling that patient towards this person. So it's interesting to know they're viewing you as somebody who is very patient. Another ace, so Ace of Wands coming out here. For a lot of you, this might be a new connection, and this person is viewing you as somebody who really sees the potential here. And we're kind of getting different facets of that potential with these two different aces here. So this person views you as someone who... okay, sorry guys, my camera actually cut out. So we were talking about these two aces that have now showed up in your reading, and we're looking at the potential here. So your person views you as somebody who really sees a lot of potential in this relationship. And when we're looking at the different facets, it's someone who sees the potential for communication to be great and to be strong in this connection, and who also sees kind of a passionate potential here. So aces never really guarantee or promise anything. Aces are about the potential. They're about something that really could grow into something strong, something that kind of has all of what it takes to flourish into something. But the ace is the very beginning of that journey. So there's a lot of different steps that you have to go through. The ace is really just it's kind of like that open door. It's that open gate. It's like, come through this gate and we'll kind of see what happens. But this person is seeing that you are somebody who views this relationship as something that has a lot of potential and that has the ability to be something solid and be something firm. So as I'm saying that, then we have the Ten of Wands come out. So the Ten of Wands is kind of, it's a bit of a different energy, and it kind of goes into the idea of this potential, because I do think that your person realizes that you see a lot of potential here, but then there's also an element of struggle, of some kind of strain. So it's like they recognize that you were very bright-eyed when it came to this connection, that you saw all the ways that it could go well, that it could be good, and especially in communication and in passion. And not only that, really looking at these cards, it's not just in the communication and the passion, but also in like something firm and solid. It's like they recognize that when things first started, you thought that everything was flowing smoothly in communication. The two of you may have had a lot of great long talks. You could have really connected on an intellectual level. You could have shared thoughts and feelings, memories, experiences with each other that you had never felt comfortable sharing with other people. And it felt like something that really could be solid, that could be firm, that could be lasting. On top of that, there's a lot of attraction between the two of you. So your connection may have started based on a level of physical attraction, but then it showed so much promise in other areas. Then we have the Ten of Wands. So there's some kind of struggle that came up here. There's some kind of burden, and your person views you as someone who is carrying a lot on their back. Like you're carrying a lot of weight, and they think that you, I don't want to say are dwelling in that, but they're aware that you feel that way, or they believe that you do. They believe that they caused you some kind of stress or burden that kind of tainted all of that potential that you saw at one time. So after the Ten of Wands, we have the Chancellor of Daggers come out. So this is Queen of Daggers energy. It's interesting that we had a King and a Queen show up in your spread already, and 2 aces. So there's a lot of heavy energy here, again, with that Ten of Wands. So, I mean, we're dealing with some pretty heavy cards here. That kind of speaks to the importance of this connection. It kind of speaks to the gravity of the connection. It also can speak to how intense all of this could have been. So I think that your person is really, when they think about how you're viewing this connection, they're really focused on the intensity of the connection. It's like they think that you view this connection as intense right from the beginning to wherever you are in it right now. Really intense in your connection, really intense in your communication, really intense in the potential that it had. And then also on the flip side, really intense when it comes to being a source of stress for you, when it comes to being a source of burden. I think that they are viewing you as someone who feels like you took on a lot of responsibility when it comes to this connection. Maybe you took on more responsibility when it came to communication, or when it came to making sure that the connection had something solid to rest on, had solid footing, had solid grounding. That can show up in so many different ways. That can be you were putting in more work, let's say, into finding a place for the two of you to live. So you were more concerned with practical matters, and maybe your person wasn't, or at least they think that you think that they weren't. So this reading can get a little bit confusing. I'm going to try to be as clear as I can, but it is a little hard because it's a they think you think type of situation, which can be like mind-boggling. But this isn't necessarily how you have to feel. This is just what they think you feel. So this can be them thinking this because they've picked up on something. You have expressed something to them, either verbally or non-verbally. In this case, there's a lot of clear communication here. Ace of Daggers, Chancellor of Daggers, a lot of clear communication. So for a lot of you, this could have been issues that you brought to this person's attention, or that you continue to bring to this person's attention, that you clearly communicate about. And that could be why they think that you feel this way. And it might be more that they know that you feel this way because you communicated it to them. I'm also really drawn to the fact that your spread started with daggers and ended with daggers. So it's like they're viewing your connection from your point of view. Like they're thinking that you believe that your connection began with communication, and it began with something more intellectual, and it also either ended that way or is currently in that state. Like you are a good communicator. I think they believe you to be a good communicator, but they also believe that you feel that you are a good communicator and that you communicated willingly and openly in this connection, or that you continue to, depending on where your connection is. So I think that they think that you, when you look back at what took place in the connection, I think they believe that you stand behind your communication. There's something there about communication. There's something like they believe that you think you told them. that you shared with them, that you were open with them. Whether that's that you expressed concerns with them or that you were just very open in revealing parts of yourself, in sharing the way that you view the world and sharing the way that you look at things. There's definitely an openness here. I think it might be a lot that your person thinks that you are a great communicator, or your person knows that you did communicate very clearly and very effectively with them. And so I think this reading, it really opens up a lot of opportunity for projection, because a lot of times the reason that we think a certain thing is because it's how we feel about the connection. So they may think you're viewing the connection a certain way because they do, and that's just human nature. And it's like it's just a funny thing about us. If we recognize something, then we think everybody does. Okay, we had Between Worlds come out. So definitely, I think your person thinks you're on the fence about something. You might be on the fence about the entire relationship. You might be on the fence about whether you want to continue or not, because I think that they believe that something about this connection caused a lot of distress for you, caused a lot of weight. Like something with there's a heavy weight here, and they are not sure if you're all the way in. And with this mending card coming out here, they think that this is so, you guys, like, there's something about it that's so confusing, or maybe it's just wordy, because I have to keep saying they think that you think. So I don't know, like, how weird that's getting, but I don't know what else to say. They think that you think that there's a lot of healing that needs to go on here. And I think that in this case, it's like they probably are aware of what needs to be healed, because it's probably something that has been discussed, maybe even at length. So when they're viewing this connection through your eyes, they're kind of like, they're thinking that you are looking at this and saying, look, I'm on the fence here. I'm of two minds when it comes to this connection. I've got one foot in and the other foot out, because there's some stuff that needs to change here. There's some healing that needs to get done. I talked to them about what needed to happen, and I'm hoping that those changes can happen. And it's like they're viewing you as somebody who is in the connection if these things can get resolved, and that might be out of the connection if they can't get resolved. So it's very interesting energy, because whether or not, if you're aware of these issues that have taken place in the relationship, or these, I feel like these might be sort of like non-negotiables, things that you've brought to this person's attention, or just problems that need to be resolved in the connection in general, you might not be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You might be fully committed and fully like determined to wait and to have all of this play out in your favor. Even if you've taken on a heavy burden in this relationship, you may have taken on a heavy burden, you may be well aware that you've taken on a heavy burden, and you might be fine with it. But your person is concerned that you are not fine with it, that you might take off, that you're kind of like only half in at this point. I don't think, and I wouldn't know from this, especially letting them lead, because at this point I'm having to look through their eyes, and through their eyes, they don't know what's going on in your head. They can't read your mind. So there could be a lot missing here, and it is a little bit cloudy. There's a little bit of anxiety and worry here when it comes to how they're viewing things, because I think they're worried that they haven't like stepped up to the plate all the way, that they haven't improved or made the decisions, or a lot of this really for you could be about decision making with all this swords energy. Like the swords are a decisive suit, and the way that they're showing up in this reading, it's like a lot of this could be indecision, and this 1 foot in, 1 foot out, this could be caused by indecision, and this could be showing some of their insecurities when it comes to this connection. They could be somebody who is not feeling very decisive, who feels like they've dragged their feet, who feels like they put one foot into this connection and had the other foot out the entire time. And at this point, they might be projecting a lot of that onto you in terms of how much guilt that they're feeling about doing this and how much of a burden they feel like it put on you to have to endure all of this, to have to wait, to have to be patient, especially seeing the potential that this connection had. Because I think definitely you saw the potential. They know you saw the potential, and they saw that too. They're recognizing that both of you saw how great this connection could be, and then something took place that just made all of that potential feel like a big burden. I'm kind of getting the image of, this is funny because like the imagery that came up before was about something to do with a house. So this is kind of along those same lines, but it's like if you were to move into a house and at first you're very excited about this new place that you have to live. You see all of the potential. You see all of the ways that you can change this place to suit you. You see all of the like the fun and the activities that you can do in each one of the rooms and how you're going to make this place your home. You're going to make it cozy. You're going to do all these things. But if after a while that house becomes one project after another, if the plumbing goes bad and the ceiling caves in and it's just one thing after another and it's such a burden to you, after a while, that thing that had so much potential, that looked like just a new beginning, a great opening, the start of something wonderful, after all of these problems, it can just feel like a heavy burden on your back at some point, and it can feel like maybe you reach the point where you want to sell the house because it's just too much for you to deal with. That's kind of how your person is thinking you're feeling about this connection. They're thinking that the connection, although it showed so much bright potential, it could have at some point shifted to a place where you are contemplating whether or not you even want to be here, whether or not you want to keep carrying this burden. And they're kind of concerned about that. They're a little bit concerned that you might decide that the burden is too much to bear, that this relationship, the problems in it, or the indecision here can't be mended and it's too much for you to bear. Your person is also viewing you as somebody who is very sensitive with this frog energy here. It's really interesting for the frog energy water element to come out here. Everything else that came out is like, we didn't have cups show up here. This Between Worlds card has some water imagery on it. But other than that, we haven't really been swimming around in the water so much in this reading. So I do think that your person views you as somebody very logical and somebody very stable. They might feel like you take on the responsibility of making a lot of the decisions or being the voice of reason in the connection. And that might not be the role you think you play, but they feel that way about you. And with this frog coming out, it's like almost like they've recognized this layer beneath all of that kind of level-headed energy. They see that inside this is an emotional connection for you, as logical as you try to be about it, or as what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like as methodical as you try to be about how to put things in order, or how to have conversations in a reasonable way, how to work through your problems. You might approach that from a very logical, methodical standpoint, just to try to get it right. But they also think beneath that is somebody who is very tender and very sensitive, and who is approaching this from an emotional point of view as well, who underneath it all is an emotional person, is feeling this. So I think that really this burden that they're concerned might be too much for you is an emotional burden. It's like the weight on your back is more of like a weight of hurt in their eyes, and they're thinking, I may have hurt this person too much. It might be too late. It might be that the emotions take over and that they have to kind of disconnect, that they have to step away, because it might just be too much for them to handle. So yeah, they are viewing you as somebody who might be thinking that this is more than you signed up for. And I think they're kind of concerned about that. They're concerned about it being too much. Okay, let's pull some Romance Angels cards for you. I think if, like in this connection, if you are not feeling that way, this could be a conversation to be had. You know, like if you are not feeling like you want to give up, you might realize that this is a lot to take, that this is a lot of an emotional burden, that this is, I want to say worth it though. Like if you think this is worth it, then this is something that you could talk to this person about and put their mind at ease. But at the same time, because you're the one here, because you're the one watching this video, and because I feel so much love for you through this camera, I also have to say, you know, you do have, if the burden is too much, you do have to watch out for yourself. I don't think you're dealing with somebody here who is, who's like out to get you, or who is trying to pile this burden on you. Because it's somebody who's concerned that they may have done too much. It's somebody who's concerned that they may have piled too much of an emotional burden on you. And that they're kind of seeing that even though you try so hard to be logical, to be reasonable, to communicate, that it just doesn't seem to be enough. It seems like they still think they're piling this burden on you. So if they are not doing that, then, you know, you could talk to them. You could put their mind at ease. If it is too much, this might be something that you have to wait on. And I do, they think you're on the fence, so there might be a reason for them. So you had to stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Let's see what other card you got. You got forgiving and learning. So as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. I think those are really beautiful cards to receive in this reading. And it does kind of let me know that I think there's a chance for this to clear up. And if you are under this stress or this burden, there's a chance for that to be relieved. There's also a chance for the two of you to communicate better. I am getting the feeling that you are the communicator here. If you're not, then let this be an opportunity for you to open up a little bit more and communicate your feelings about all of this. There is kind of, it's interesting I say communicate your feelings. I think there's kind of an element of this that's like, it's not so much your feelings, or to not approach the conversation from such an emotional place, because that might make it too charged for it to be effective, because we are dealing with all of this Swords energy. So there's something here about maybe releasing some of that emotion when you come together to communicate. It's not like shut out your emotion completely. This is obviously a relationship that's built on a ton of emotion, but there is a need to kind of remain logical, to kind of like keep that energy more in your head than letting it dip down in your heart when you're trying to come together and figure this stuff out. But I do think that there's a lot of hope here. There's a lot of optimistic energy coming through. And I feel hopeful because I'm seeing your person's concern here. And I think that it's a great thing. Like, the worst thing that you can have is somebody who is not concerned with how you're feeling. And no matter how it is that they've acted towards you, they may act in a way that makes you feel all the time that they might not care how you feel. But I think that they really do. I think that they're concerned with kind of how they squandered all of the potential of this relationship. And they're worried that it's going to drive you away. So yeah, let's grab a few messages from your person. So this is what your person would want to tell you. I wish I had treated you better. Yeah, that kind of that's what I'm feeling here. They have some regret when it comes to how they've acted in this, and they really hate that because they can see how much potential this relationship had, and what makes it worse is they know that you saw it as well. So that was a huge group of cards. I'll take the top card, and that is I can't stop thinking about you. A lot of you might not be with this person currently. You might be in separation. They are thinking a lot about this connection. They can't get you off of their mind. They can't get the worry about how they may have ruined this off of their mind. I hid who I really am from you. Yeah. Going back to that communication, it's like they see you as somebody who communicated really clearly, and they feel like there was something lacking on their end when it came to communication. So they don't even really feel like they've been completely honest. And I don't think that it's that they have anything like huge to hide from you. I think it's just that they just don't feel like they opened up. They feel like you opened up. They feel like you expressed. They feel like you expressed with them on numerous levels, that you were logical, that you tried to work through problems, that you wanted to do something that was solid, like you wanted to make moves and decisions in the relationship that felt solid and that felt like it was going to set you guys up on, like, on a path for something real. And they feel like you did express emotion to them, and definitely passion. A lot of you, this really could have been something that started out really physical and turned into so much more, which could have thrown your person off a little bit, because they might have expected to go into the relationship from a purely physical standpoint, and it kind of turned into something more. Yeah. I can see a lot of different ways that this could have played out. I think for a lot of you, if you're not in contact with this person, there's a lot of communication that they wish that they had had with you. There's a lot they wish they had said, and there's a lot that they want to say now. And for those of you who might still be in communication with the person, you might be in a relationship with this person, your person's worried a lot that they've just placed a lot on your shoulders, that they've let you make a lot of the decisions, that they've let you take on a lot of the burden and a lot of the responsibility and drive the relationship forward and play too many roles in the relationship. And I think that they're either picking up on, or they've been directly told, that you're tired of doing that you don't want to play every role in the relationship. You want to do the things that that you're good at, and you want to receive a little bit too. You don't want to have to be the communicator, the future planner, the date maker, the only one that demonstrates emotions. You don't want to do that, and they're realizing that. So I think that's all I see for you, Group 1. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm sending you all tons of love and light, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully in your next reading. Bye.